Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become. Hello and welcome to Monday Morning with Megan on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. This is episode 268. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. When this episode publishes, I will be 2.5 weeks away from my girls getting out of school for the summer. And over the last few weeks, I've had this experience that is so normal for this time of year that every time I seem to interact with an acquaintance or someone new, or even like really my friends and my family, the question of, what are you guys doing this summer, seems to just pop up. What are you guys doing? Do you have any fun plans? Are you gonna go somewhere? Are you gonna do something big? Whatever, And as this question has been asked, I started to notice something interesting within myself. I started to notice this feeling of apprehension and anticipation and this like nervous energy. And I wasn't very surprised because it's like this happens every year. I feel this way every year. Like this feels very normal to me. Why? Why do I have this approach to summer with apprehension and anticipation and nervous energy? And once I noticed it in myself, as I started to ask other people about their upcoming summer and how they, what their outlook on it was, I began to notice the same thing in their energy, in their mannerisms, in their words, in the way that they even presented their plans or lack of plans. And of course, me being me, I had to really start asking myself, why? This is a normal thing. We do this every year. Every year, school gets out for the summer. This isn't a surprise, although it feels like it came fast. We're not surprised, and yet we still have these underlying emotions. And so as I was considering this, as I was asking myself questions about this, I realized that when we approach summer, we typically approach it from a logistical standpoint. We are creating schedules. We are making plans. We are organizing things. We're making sure that everybody has something to do. We're making sure that everybody has something to eat. We are making sure that things are taken care of logistically. What we fail to acknowledge and thus fail to take care of is the emotional adjustment that comes with this transition into summer. And so I wanted to focus this week on this emotional adjustment. Because when you know someone who is having a hard time or who is sick, or, when your kid is starting puberty, you know that there's something emotional going on underneath the surface. And so you're able to extend a level of compassion and understanding that maybe you wouldn't be able to extend otherwise. Maybe you'll have a little bit more patience because you know there's something going on and they're not quite working at peak performance. They don't quite have the capacity that they usually have. There's something going on. And so this week, I want to highlight the emotional something going on for our transition into summer so that you can extend yourself some self-compassion, some extra patience, some understanding, and of course, give you the tools and awareness to work through this emotional transition so that you feel grounded for the best summer you could possibly have. So this 3-week journey that I am going to take you on, I am calling the shift into summer. And this week is all about grounding. Summer creates some really interesting competing desires, and we feel this emotionally, right? Summer gives us the invitation to have slower mornings, make meaningful memories, rest, be present, have the opportunity to indulge in some spontaneity. And we still want to be productive. We still want consistency. We still want our alone time, our healthy habits, time for our own personal growth. And we feel like those things are going to compete. That's why we experience this apprehension, this anticipation, this nervous energy of like, okay, I want to, and I don't know that I'm ready to let go of the comfort of this routine of knowing what's next. I'm not sure I'm ready to, rest sometimes. I'm not sure I'm ready to slow down. I want to, and I still want to get things done. So, over the next 3 weeks, we're going to build out a metaphor. And in this metaphor, we are planting a flower. And of course, for this week, our grounding week, we are preparing the soil to have a beautiful, fantastic summer that really feels good. So, as you start into your summer transition this week, I want you to slow down. Instead of immediately trying to optimize things, instead of immediately creating the most perfect schedule, I am inviting you to slow down because I get that impulse. This is what we do every year, though. We have the impulse to immediately optimize everything, to schedule everything out, to plan everything so that we have that feeling of routine, the feeling of routine that we enjoy while school's in, that knowing what happens next, of feeling like we are in that rhythm. It makes us feel safe because we like to know what to expect. We don't like the uncertainty. And summer brings that uncertainty because it feels like this a wide open space. So instead of immediately jumping into all of that, I invite you to lean into allowing some flexibility, allowing adjustment, allowing some experimentation, and of course, allowing some time for your emotional processing. Now, I want to say real quick, I meant to say a little bit earlier in the episode, but even if you don't have kids that are normally in school and now they're not, even if that's not your experience, summer still brings to you this same invitation to slow down, to enjoy the moment, to get present. And you still have that competing desire of getting things done, of moving forward, of maintaining your habits, of maintaining momentum. There's still this competition. I just feel like when you have kids, it's a little bit louder, it's a little bit more exaggerated, and it feels a little bit more polarizing. But the energy is still there. The invitation of summer is still there, whether or not you have kids that are in the house or out of the house or whatever your experience is looking like for you. So instead of tuning out on these 3 weeks, I invite you specifically to listen in on how you can apply this for your summer experience. This week, we're focusing on emotionally grounding yourself for this transition into summer, for this invitation, for answering the invitation and creating a summer that feels good in all the ways. So I want you to start by asking yourself a few questions. The first one is, what do you want summer to feel like? Start there. What do you want it to feel like? If you could have any summer, what would you want it to feel like? The second question is, what do you need more of? For this summer season, what is it that your body, your soul, your spirit, your emotions, your energy, what is that telling you you need more of? And on the other side, what do you need less of? Maybe there's something in the school term rhythm that you actually need to lessen for the summer. And the last one is to consider what actually matters. When this summer is all over, when it's in the books, what will have mattered? You get to choose that. You get to decide what matters. Of course, I'm going to give you a quote for our Monday morning. And this is by Charles Bowden. He's an American journalist and author. He said, "Summertime is always the best of what might be." And of course, because I am me and this is my podcast, we are going to intentionally decide what the best of what might be is for you specifically, so that you know what to do, what to say no to, where to slow down, where to maintain in order to create your best of what might be. This is what I want to leave you with. The transition into summer is an opportunity, and the personal work that you will do over the next 3 weeks is going to position you to make the most of it in a way that feels good, in a way that honors the season, and in a way that honors you. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I totally love you. Bye for now.